Hi, and welcome to my presentation, Human Design Meets Business Spirituality BTS Edition. In this presentation, I am going to tell you and I'm going to show you how I became an successful entrepreneur inspired by music group BTS. In the photo, you see on the left an old, weathered, damaged cemetery lantern that was given to me by a colleague of mine when I worked in a local second-hand store here in town from May 2019 to September 2022. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that left photo is a good representation of the state that I was in mentally and physically at the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020. In that year of 2020, I made a complete transformation, and I did that transformation when I was, among others, working on that lantern to restore it, to upcycle it into a wall light piece. And you see that on the photo on the right. And I used the purple and the gold colors for the representation of BTS, and also put the logo of the group underneath. And yeah, it is now a beautiful ceiling light. So on the day that K-pop group BTS released the debut song No More Dream on June 12th, 2013, I tweeted it was still called Twitter, that I participated in a workshop making your own fashion accessories from worn clothing called upcycling. So you see that on the left with that arrow, it says June 12th, 2013. This is a screenshot that I made from Wikipedia, that on June 12th, 2013, the Too Cool for School single album by BTS was released with their song No More Dream. You might think, what has the song release of BTS to do with the fact that on the same day I participated in a workshop making your own fashion accessories with upcycling? Well, I'm going to tell you that. But first, in my free time, I was a dancer. I live and I love to perform. Not on a piece of paper in someone's backyard, but on an actual stage. Fighting my mental challenges as a chronic ill person through movement. From July 2011 to December 2013, I was working as a Dutch government employee at the National Forestry Management until the end of my contract, but I was actually dreaming of something else. On the left, you see me as an office worker at the National Forestry Management, and because they get funding from the government, you become a government employee when you are working there. This is what I tweeted on Twitter, October 21st, 2013. New dream job. In Dutch, dream is droom. So new dream job, an upcycling lab in Nijmegen. Where do I find enthusiastic people who share this dream? So that was in October of 2013, the same year. When you take a look at the lyrics of the song No More Dream by BTS, One of the lyrics of that song, number one dream job, a government employee. On the day that they released their song, No More Dream, I was working at a government as a government employee, but that wasn't my number one dream. My number one dream was opening a upcycling lab. But after I lost that job at the National Forest Management at the end of 2013, I wanted to follow that dream. But the government disability agency I returned to advised against it. They said I had more prospects if I stayed at the office work section. So when I lost who I was due to the voices of others and the advices that I got from others, I decided to have a Love Myself ceremony on June 14th, 2014, because I like the date. Mind you, I didn't know about the existence of BTS until the end of February 2020, and that was in 2014. But on that day, in that ceremony, I put a ring on my own finger and I married the world. That Love Myself ceremony was 1 day and 1 year after BTS's debut. One of the songs that BTS released years later, in 2018, was the song Answer, Love Myself. And they also had a whole campaign with UNICEF called the Love Myself campaign. Coincidence? A year later, in 2015, I found out that I am non-binary, and I went into social transition with support of my supernatural family from the American TV show of the same name, Supernatural. Through an online friend, I discovered that supernatural actor Misha Collins founded non-profit organization Random Acts. And in July 2018, I moved from the city of Nijmegen to a ground floor apartment with a garden where I discovered the popular BBC TV show Money for Nothing. And inspired by the TV show, I picked up my 2013 upcycling dream again. I wasn't working, I didn't have a paid job, and I was also on the waiting list for gender healthcare at the gender clinic in Amsterdam. So transition leave is not very common here in the Netherlands. So starting a new job when you are on the wait list for gender healthcare wasn't really advisable to do. The logo on the middle picture was designed by me and my dad. And on the left and the right are two items that I worked at. On the left, I made this time a wall lamp from a circular piece of wood, and with fabric that I hardened with fabric hardener. And these are from rollerblades from like a ceiling fan, and also this is a mirror that you can put on the wall. So the logo that my dad and I designed, I really liked the name Butterfly Upcycling because of the metamorphosis. And butterfly is going through from caterpillar to a butterfly, and also with products that were bound for the wood container that I upcycled in something really pretty. Furniture maker Bruce Kenneth Forsyth, he's on the left, who was born without his right hand, and transman and woodworker E.J. Osborne on the right photo are two presenters of the BBC show Money for Nothing. But sadly, E.J. passed away in 2020. They were my motivation to turn my upcycling lab dream into an upcycling skills lab concept, where creative people with a distance to the labor market could learn new skills to help them have a better future. People with a disability, or people who are LGBTQ+, who are refugees, immigrants, and those who are considered too old to get hired. But at the end of 2019, I fell into a dark depression, suffering from gender dysphoria in a chronically ill body. With my 40th birthday in 2 months and no prospect of a cure for my illness or for having my top surgery that I needed, I didn't want to keep living like that. I wanted to give up. To give up on this entire cycle of hospital treatments with no mental health treatment or support, job searching in an office work industry that I didn't like, getting rejected for that chronic illness. So at the beginning of 2020, on New Year's Eve, when I looked up at the sky with full of colors from the fireworks, I really said, if I don't get any divine intervention, my 40th birthday will be my last. Until I found 7 young men cramped up in a car, singing their souls out on February 28, 2020. And that was 22 years after I was admitted into the hospital, where I was diagnosed with a rare chronic illness 11 days later. And it was 1 day before International Rare Disease Day, February 29th. I saw that video of the carpool karaoke segment with BTS on YouTube. Completely blew my mind. The first BTS music video that I watched on YouTube was On. And there I saw that they had left a space for me. Due to not being accepted by my own family of origin because of my queer identity, I had to find another chosen family. And the moment that I saw them in that car singing and jamming and having fun, I knew I had found my new home. But the music video that gave me back a piece of my soul, that had died when I stopped dancing on November 15th, 2019, and I slipped into that depression, was Black Swan. I have here a piece of jewelry on a necklace that represents that piece of soul that was that died and went missing when I stopped dancing, as a reminder of how far I have come from my depression to where I am right now. And as a dancer myself, since the moment I learned how to walk, I struggled the most with my gender identity on the dance floor. Watching 7 young men in suits dancing contemporary, with Jimin being the perfect balance between masculine and feminine energy, that was what my heart desired that I could be. And in March 2020, I found on YouTube the UN speech 2018 by RM. And I had a story to tell, but I hadn't found my voice yet. And I still lived under the name that was given to me by my parents that wasn't really truly mine. But that speech became my motivation to find both my soul name and my voice, so I could speak myself. On this photo here is a photo of Kim Namjoon, the leader of BTS, and he says in that UN speech of 2018, "Tell me your story. I want to hear your voice, I want to hear your conviction. No matter who you are, where you're from, your skin color, your gender identity, just speak yourself, find your voice and find your name, find your voice by speaking yourself." And exactly on the day, 6 months later, on August 28, 2020, I finally had my top surgery. And because I was working out and having a workout dance routine almost daily on music of BTS, my physical health improved so much that only 2 weeks later I traveled to the cinema in the next big town in the Netherlands for the BTS Break the Silence viewing. And there I met a Dutch and German couple who asked me for an online interview about my BTS gender journey. You can find it on YouTube. I will put the link to that in the video here below, where you can find it. And yeah, so again, exactly 6 months later, on the day that I found music K-pop group BTS, I had my top surgery. Less than a year later, on May 12th, 2021, I featured in a local newspaper with an interview about my rekindled upcycling lab dream. In my hand on the photo of that newspaper article is a music box that I made from an old tea box. And only 2 days later, on May 14th, 2021, Hype, the management from music group BTS, opened a Hype Inside museum in their basement with an upcycling lab. And in this lab, worn clothes by members of BTS were upcycled into fashion accessories. First of all, there are 365 days a year, if you don't count the leap year. One person in a little town in the Netherlands has an upcycling dream since 2013. How was I supposed to know that 2 days after I featured in a news article about my upcycling lab dream, in the building of the management of BTS on the other side of the country, in Seoul, South Korea, they are opening an upcycling lab where they specifically upcycle fashion accessories that were upcycled from clothes that were worn by the members of BTS. How? If it is not human design with business spirituality, I don't know what is. Doesn't say there, but on December 27th, 2021, I founded my foundation Butterfly Upcycling, you see from the logo, at 4:23 p.m. in the afternoon. Before its 1 year anniversary, that foundation ranked number 87 on the Dutch newspaper Trouw Sustainable 100 in October 2020. In October 2022. And before its 2 year anniversary, my foundation ranked 78 on the same Sustainable 100 list in 2023. You see that? The name of the newspaper, the name of my foundation. And on my birthday, on my 43rd birthday, January 23, 2023, I founded my company Dancing Queer to become a public speaker on body and mind healing through music and dance. Because 10 months after I started my BTS music and artist for healing weekly dance workout routine, my chronic illness that I had since I was 13 went into spontaneous remission. And 70% of my physical health problems were gone. So 5 months after I founded my company, Dancing Queer, in 2023, I met and I talked to the former Dutch Secretary of State at the Dutch Mental Health Week conference about bringing music, dance and arts into the national healthcare system. And I traveled to Brussels, Belgium, to attend a meeting on mental health at the European Parliament the same month. And on that photo, I am the person, of course, with the purple scarf. And there is Maarten van Ooyen. He is the former Dutch Secretary of State of Mental Health. And yeah, we are now basically on first name basis. Remember, I founded my foundation Butterfly Upcycling on December 27th, 2021 at 4:22 p.m. in the afternoon. So 2 years later, when my foundation had its 2-year anniversary, the song My Universe by Coldplay and BTS played on the Dutch national radio during the year-end Top 2000 radio show. It is the most listened to program of the year. And mind you, the Top 2000 list, and it starts in December and it runs all the way to Christmas. The place of the song on the list goes by ranking, by votes. People can have public votes, and the more votes a song gets, the higher it will get on the ranking list. So I have no influence whatsoever to when the song was going to play and when the song was placed on the ranking list. No influence whatsoever. At 4:35 p.m. that day, December 27th, it was exactly 2 years ago that I signed the official papers at the notary office and paid the fee to found my foundation. And the radio station played the song My Universe by Coldplay and BTS, two music groups that are both involved in upcycling. With Coldplay, they, a very cool company, they make tote bags and other bags and wallets from the concert banners of Coldplay, and next to the fashion accessories that are being made in the upcycle lab in the basement of the hype building, the management of BTS. Another company, designer company, Recode, is sewing pieces of worn clothing by the members of BTS onto bags that are made from airbags from cars. So here again, The year has 365 days a year. And on the exact day and the exact minutes that I founded my foundation, Butterfly Upcycling, and it was 2 years later with the anniversary, exactly the minutes the song My Universe plays on the Dutch National Radio Top 2000, the most listened to list of songs, and again it's by ranking. It was a full photo when I made this presentation. It's a half slide now. I will put the photo slides in between now and the rest of the video. But now my dream of my own upcycling skills lab has become a no more dream, as I was unable to find professional help to acquire funds and a workplace to set it up. In my opinion, there is still a lot of bias against queer people, with or without a disability or chronic illness, especially, in my opinion, in the circular economy. In the end, from the moment my life as a BTS army connected to BTS when I made sustainability my life's work in 2013, I have been fighting for the same global sustainability goals as the members of BTS, and they are now even ambassadors of the global sustainability goals. Only now I am a national well-known entrepreneur. The unique mutual love and connection shared between BTS and ARMY transcends time, space, and parasocial understanding. Because when I talk to people, when I tell them this story, and they are not BTS ARMY, they don't understand. They don't understand that 7 years before I even knew that BTS existed, on the exact day that they had their debut song No More Dream, I made fashion accessories made of worn clothing. I made bracelets. On the exact same day that my foundation had its 2-year anniversary, that song played on the radio. When I had my interview published in the local newspaper on May 12th, 2021, and exactly 2 days later, out of 365 days, 2 days later, they open an upcycling lab where they make fashion accessories out of worn clothing by the members of BTS. If you are not BTS ARMY, I don't think that you will understand how this enlightenment works. And the stage that I wanted to perform at in 2013, instead of the piece of plastic paper in someone's backyard, on August 1st, 2025, so this year, 8 days before the Run Sokjin episodes tour concert was taking place in Amsterdam, I presented my published memoir book about my BTS story at the Trans Podium with a literary dance. So I read on the stage a piece of my, a part of my book, and then I incorporated into a dance. And 8 days later, I sang along with the songs of Jin at a solo concert on August 9th in the Ziggo Dome in Amsterdam. So, at the end of the presentation, do you still think that big events are just a coincidence? that these things are just randomly happening, or is the universe vibrating, is the universe's vibration making this happen? Is somebody pulling the strings? I have a religious background. I am not a religious person anymore. I am more into spirituality. That's why I am interested in business spirituality. If you work from your soul will work for you. You saw it in my presentation that it happens like that. If you want to know more, I wrote a book. I have the flyer here of the book that I wrote and published as an ebook in English. The link to the book where you can order it is also in the video below. And I also have a limited edition printed as a printed book, and it has like the bigger lettering, bigger spacing, so it's very easy to read. This one is printed in Dutch, and I only have it printed in Dutch, so you can order it, so I don't have to send it off internationally. If you wanted to read my book in English, you can have it as an ebook. And the bracelets that I upcycled of worn clothing in 2013, they had a little update. I am making them now like that, and yeah, you can wear it as a really cool bracelet like that at a concert of BTS. They're coming here. That is what I heard. They are coming here for a concert next year. I'm planning later this week a giveaway of these bracelets. I have them like that. I have them with the names of the members of BTS, and I have song names of BTS songs as lettering. You can choose either. I am giving away 50, but that's for later. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.